I'm Andrea Houston for Extra, and I'm sitting down with Chris Cowperthwaite, Kathleen Wynn's son. How you doing, Chris?
Very good, thanks.
Good. So now that the convention, the excitement of the convention is over, how are you feeling?
Well, it was an amazing convention. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that before. So just the political drama was intense.
How does it feel for you when you see your mom on stage and talking about these issues and proudly saying, I am a queer woman, well, I'm a lesbian, and big deal. A lesbian can do anything, including rise to the top of the provincial party of Ontario.
Well, I mean, at the convention it was very cool. I mean, she had, I would encourage anybody to watch that speech because, she did directly address the issue, and I think she did it in a way that was very empowering, in terms of saying, that let's call a spade a spade. What does can a queer woman win? What's that? What's the response to that? She's proven time and time again that she can win against the best of them, right?
So, at what age did you come out?
I was 21.
You were 21.
Yeah.
And what was your mom's reaction?
Well, like any parent, she came out when I was in grade 5, and parents are, they're concerned for their kids no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But I would say Jane, and my father, and Sue, who's around the time as well, they were all very, very supportive, right? Obviously the concerns about, emotional stability and just, wanting no doors to be closed for your kids and whatnot. It's something, when you come out yourself, you feel a little bit more in control of your destiny than, somebody else you love comes out and you want the best for them, and, you don't want, care more about their ability to move forward in the world than you do for yourself. So I think those are natural concerns that people have. But, she's been amazing, yeah. And, that didn't mean the coming out process was wasn't easy, but that a huge piece of it that I know is a huge piece for so many people was taken off the table. So it was certainly easier for me, in coming out. But it's amazing, even given that, how difficult it was coming out, and that was a real underscored for me how key the social pressures, and for peer groups and whatnot, and just societal norms and whatnot that you're brought up around in high school. Things you're taught they play a huge role, right? And regardless of whether your family's supportive or not, it can still be really challenging.
So what was it like growing up with two moms, and what would you draw from that experience that you might pass on to other kids like that?
Well, I definitely will talk about my own experience, but I'll preface it by saying that I know that there's so many different experiences in how parents deal with divorces, right? So not all families have parents that are able to work it out in the way that my parents did, and I was very lucky. They basically put really the interest of the kids first and said, then how do we figure out our own lives around that? And that meant my mother and Jane living in the top floor, and my father renovated the basement, and he stayed in the basement for the first 3 years, and then he bought the house kitty corner to our house, so our backyard's connected, so we go back and forth, right? I mean, so I will admit I don't really have an experience of a difficult situation. At the same time, if I was going to say to people, who are dealing with it, because I certainly was distressed when my mother came out. It was very difficult for me. I think mostly because also I knew that I was in grade 5. You're already starting to become sexually aware, and I was dealing with some of those issues already. And I didn't particularly want another thing that would make me kind of different, right? Than the other people in the playground. But in hindsight, it's maybe not consolation when it's happening, but in hindsight, it is being the best thing, basically, not only because you get more presents, at key occasions, but having more parents in your life, it's more perspectives at every step of the way. I would hope that people who are going through situations can try to, understand where their parents have come from. And again, I know that there are some situations that are just, a lot more difficult than anything I dealt with and I don't understand. But the more you can try to you know, connect with your step parents, you know, and bring people in and help them help you in your life, you know, and they can be a real positive force. So I would say, you know, and connect with other people. Reach out to organizations like PFLAG if you are in a difficult situation. You know, find those resources in the community, GSAs, and I guess one last piece there is sometimes, and we dealt with it at 10 Oaks. It's one of the reasons we had 10 Oaks is that youth who are not queer or don't know or, you know, and have queer parents, right? They sometimes, they need to stake out their position in the community because they are part of the community. And I think it's one area where the queer community, we haven't figured it out yet, you know, like straight people who have grown up in LGBT families, right? They understand the issues as well as we do, right? And they have a place, you know, in my opinion, as much as, you know, as I do, right? Having been a part of that. So, you know, I would say, I would encourage those youth to really continue to get involved, be active members of the community, and, you know, participate fully. Pride's the whole bit, you know, you're part of the queer community, so.
So maybe for anybody who doesn't know, maybe explain what 10 Oaks is.
So 10 Oaks is Canada's first sleepaway camp for youth of the LGBT community. And that is all encompassing. It includes youth who, you know, they have a parent, a cousin, a friend who's out or recently come out, you know. And it also includes allies of the community, so, you know, it'd be fewer. And then includes youth who are, and counselors who are, you know, queer themselves. I spent 3 years as a counselor, well, sorry, 2 years as a counselor, and a couple of years as program director, and then a camp life coordinator, which was kind of fun.
Nice. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.